Yeah, I can take it here. I'm allowed to. I just.
Alright,
Let's see. Let's vote on let's all vote on the most person that will make us let us do whatever we want.
No,
that's
it's me, and I'll be gone.
All right. How about
Yeah.
you?
Alright, so I'll figure it out. You guys are, yeah, it might be. I'm thinking that table was pretty good.
Everyone do that table.
Alright, let me just switch tables. No, I'm picking the people who like just
Poppy chip and chop.
what?
He's like, they get this stuff done.
Like a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know where this is, or like, oh, I forgot, or
I don't have to do
they
that.
like yell at each other. And I feel like,
I yell at people
well,
though.
JC, you're
That's
out.
fun.
And the rest of the team is pretty good.
What's the sub's name?
Mr. Rue. He's the driver's ed.
What's his name?
Mr. Rue.
Have you seen him before?
He's the one who's been in and out of this room like 5 times.
What's the fire?
What's his first name?
So we're gonna have a sub. It's gonna go great.
Hypothetically speaking, by that we mean we're F.
And then Friday's gonna go delightfully. It's gonna be super important. I'm gonna say this today to people and tomorrow. It's super important to just follow the directions. Okay? The easiest, the quickest way to make me very upset is to not behave for a second. Okay? So please do that. That would be good. We're gonna discuss some of the gravity and orbit stuff. We're also gonna just do a little bit of reviewing on the whiteboard. It's like literally 5 minutes worth of stuff. It's just way easier to do it on a whiteboard so that you don't have to waste like 4 pieces of paper and doing stuff. Okay, so we're gonna do that. And then in all the rest of the classes, we've got about 10 or so minutes to work on the review. If it's done, I'll get it stamped. If you've got a couple questions, we've got a couple minutes to do that before tomorrow. Nice. Way to go. Okay. All right, so we're gonna keep our phones away. We're gonna leave our Chromebooks. We're just gonna talk about some of this stuff. Every class so far has said.
Wow, I didn't know they said that. I didn't know he was going to say that.
They say that all the time. As a side note, did you know that you can send messages on potatoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, just check
Well, potatoes are basically really bad gaming PCs. They're dead mean, but yeah.
$10. You can type something in, and it gets printed on a potato, and you can have it sent to someone.
Fun fact about the day.
We collected money to buy you a gift. This is it. That's what that one says. Almost anniversary. That's terrible. Hello, I'm a potato. This was on Shark Tank, I think. Maybe.
What? Oh wow, they got on Shark Tank. Oh my god!
Sorry, I forgot your birthday part. I'm telling you this for 2 reasons. One, when I try to draw an elliptical orbit, people keep saying that looks like a potato.
Yeah,
And
potato.
2, so my friend got engaged like last month. Remember when I went to Nashville? I tell you guys about that. So she sent everybody she's gonna ask to be in the bridal party. She sent us packages, and we got ours yesterday. So we FaceTimed them, and I like jokingly was like, "I have a thing that day. I can't come," and got them convinced, and they were not happy. And then I tricked them, and they were still not happy. Anyways, we got kimonos, right? All the girls got kimonos, and the boys got sent potato messages. So all the messages for the groomsmen say like, "What are you?" Blah blah blah, but it's on a potato.
I'm sure that we can.
And it's awesome. And I'm upset that I didn't get a potato.
I'm gonna do that if I ever do.
I'm legitimately gonna send carrier pigeons.
Oh wait.
Retrain messenger pigeons, and I'm gonna send them out.
I have an idea. I can send.
Or I'll just do it like
That's
this.
fine.
Hey,
With
we're
your
really good
wife.
friends. You're important to me. I'm gonna stand up at my
And then I
wedding.
get shot.
And my sister will be like, no, I hate you.
I don't know why, but that's like
I don't get
having a burnt American flag.
You get the picture, you can train them.
Tie it to the leg.
This is like a probably burning something.
If it was little children, you could do it.
I really get to for it. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump actually like was burning the American flag. It'd be funny if he was burning the
That's
flag.
why, I mean, if you ever see me in public, I'm constantly like, caw, and then I do this, and it lands right on my. Alright, here's a little bit of review. This stuff should be easy. What happens to these dudes if I change the mass? This is a trick question. Everybody gets this wrong the first time. What happens if I change mass?
It's bigger. Or it changes with it.
It depends on what I do. Everybody.
Yes, I was
says
right.
It gets bigger.
Oh, yeah.
All I said was that I changed mass. Did I say whether?
I was right. I was right.
What did you change the mask on?
The thing.
What's the thing?
What thing?
That's right. I don't know. I don't
Cool.
know. I just can't. Okay. If the mass goes up, what happens to gravity? Point. What happens to mass? Gravity goes. What happens if mass goes down? Gravity goes down. What happens if distance gets really squished? Gravity goes up. What happens if there's a lot of distance? Yeah. You know the saying, "More money, more problems." Has nothing to do with this, but more mass, more gravity. That's why these little weird stick things are pulling really hard, because the two spheres are gravitationally attracted towards each other. More distance, less gravity. They have no problem. I don't know why this is the thing, but that's what it does.
It looks like they're being impaled.
They're not.
Oh yeah. It looks like they're being impaled and then they're forced to the push the ball thing until they die of bleeding or
I
the
forgot.
organs just popped or something like the bigger stab.
No.
I have a very creative thing.
You can see that.
Yeah. You know, I thought of in my home I already thought of a way I could technically commit suicide. I'm not going to, because I don't have no need to. But if I really wanted to. Yeah, right here. Oh, I found another one.
Oh my god.
Inhale and drink all the fire things.
My head is mixed.
Hold up your blue for blue
Very
Please.
Let me see your table of contents.
What is due today? Well, mine's digital, so I'll get it done 7th period. I know.
All right. You should. We're gonna put the fourth and final activity on our table of contents. It should go to step 3 in the understanding 1,
I guess you could also like
in understanding 2. You can put it down now, Stacy. Thank you. Sorry. It's all right.
it's also blind yourself by putting your eye up to that thing.
So we have 4 things.
I don't think that's really
If you don't have-
go put my head in there and shut it.
All right. Hey, let's write it in now. Everybody look at me. We're gonna play a game. It's called do this, do that. If I say do this, you do it. So if I say do this, put your hands on your shoulders. If I say do that, don't do it. So if I say do that and I put my hands on your head, you put your hands on your head, you're out. Ready? Do this, do this, do that. Put your hands on your head or you move, you're out. Do
Oh!
this, do this, do this, do this, do that. I win. Okay? Now focus. All right, focus. It's really fun to do. Sometime when we have downtime, we'll do it quickly and I'll get you all out. It works really well with, I think, 6th graders, and that's why I knew that it would work well with you guys. All right, so listen. You have 4 activities that should go on your table of contents. Okay? Hidden Figures is first. Solar System Infographic is second. The Pluto Files was the one that you decided if it was a planet or a dwarf planet. Those 3 go under the first understanding. Gravity and orbits goes under the second understanding. That is all about motion of objects, and that's what we did. You not only need the name of them, but you also need some sort of summary about them. So what did we do? What did we learn? What was it about, right? Pluto files. We gathered evidence and looked at characteristics and decided if Pluto is a planet or a dwarf planet. Okay? If you have all 4 of them listed, you get half credit. If you have all 4 of them listed and you have some sort of summary about them, you get full credit. You're going to staple that to your review and hand it in on Friday.
I don't think I got this yet.
Yours is electron.
Yeah, I don't have it.
I shared it with you the other day. I sent it to
It
you.
didn't share it with me then.
Friday, because that's when you take your turn your test in.
Unit
So
3
I'll stamp
review.
your review tomorrow, but then you'll keep it for Friday because you're going to use it to study.
Yeah, I don't have the Unit 3 KUD. I only have the Unit 3 review.
All right. Okay, maybe I didn't. Give me just a second. Hold on.
Why is it better idea?
Okay, just a
I
second.
can grab all of them sticks to cut myself in soap. You're like, oh man. My throat hurts.
Well, if you go to modules on
I'm really yelling.
Cool. You go to modules on Canvas and you go to the third one, the KD posted on there.
Module?
Modules.
What's a module?
Underneath places. I don't know. That's what a module.
It's the worst.
Oh, module. I think it's module.
Okay. So the second understanding,
A module.
it's talking all about the motion of objects. We're referring to obviously mostly planets because we're talking about astronomy-ish. This is really the end of space. When we start back
Oh no,
second
we don't all
trimester,
die.
we start talking about stuff that's on Earth, so we're getting smaller.
I have a
On your understanding, it says that these motions can be explained by some dude's laws. Whose name is there?
A person.
What is his name? It's on your it says it on your blue sheet. Kepler, we talked about him when we talked about geo and heliocentrism. We haven't really talked about him since. People back in the day only used to make observations, right? So they'd go outside, they'd look, sometimes through telescopes, and they'd write down what they saw. Okay? Kepler said, this stuff happens every single year, right? This happens all the time. Let's ruin it, put some math in it. Let's explain it by math. So he came up with these specific mathematical formulas and laws. We're not going to get into those, but we're going to say, all right, this law explains this. I'm not going to explain how, but you just got to trust me that he does this, okay? This, you might have one vocab word from this unit, and it's this, okay? Most people have been referring to the shape as what?
A circle.
A circle, okay, or an oval. Most people are saying it's more of an oval shape, okay? When we talk about orbits, we call that an ellipse.
Oh, the site's down, so I can't access it.
So next time it's up.
So, yeah, there might be.
Orbits do not, it's not due till Friday, so you're okay. Orbits don't go in perfect circles, okay? If you notice, that first one that says circle, all the rest of them, it's a circle, but the center is not where the dot is. It's off to the side,
Working now?
right? And that determines a lot of stuff about orbits. So if we change mass, we change distance, if we change some of that stuff, we change other things that it's near, that's going to change the shape of the orbit. Now, Kepler has this specific way to measure what the eccentricity or how ovally it is. We're just not going to get into that formula. I just so much don't care about it. Yep.
Too much math.
Okay? But the point is, they're not in the center. So if I go to this one that we looked at and I go to this ellipses, right? Even the one that looks the closest like a circle, which is this, is the sun perfectly in the center of it?
No,
It's not. It's off to the side. Ellipse. Hashtag follow instructions. Hashtag listen. Hashtag be a good listener. Hashtag Indiana. Okay, so that's the first one. They do not orbit in a complete circle. So, technically, is heliocentrism what the first version that they thought of it was that the sun was at the total center of the universe. Is that correct? No, so they're both right. Wrong. And they just changed it to say that we orbit the sun, and that's correct. So that's the first one, right? Then we get to the second one, which everybody saw. Okay? Where do things that are moving move the fastest? Where it's closer to whatever the thing is that they're orbiting, right? And this is another confusing one. They split it up and they talked about area and they said, all right, if you're this distance, that means you're going to go. It's very confusing. The point is this. If you're closer to the object, you're going to go faster. If you're farther away, you're going to go slower. How many of you saw this in your simulation? Okay. If I go back to the same one that's been running that I just started, are these moving at different speeds throughout their orbits?
Yes.
Look at the green one. What's it doing right now? It's slow. As it gets closer, what does it do? If it doesn't speed up, what happens? It gets completely pulled in by that gravity. It has to go faster, or it's going to get pulled in. How many of you guys have ever played Mario Kart? You played the desert one where there's the simple. If you don't go fast enough and you're on the edge of that, what happens to you? You get pulled in. But if you're going fast enough on the outside, you're good to go. Okay? What's changing as the green thing is moving? What's changing besides its speed? Distance, right? It's close. Now, right now it's far away. It's getting closer. The closest that it is. If I make distance closer together, what else do I change? Keep going. Keep going. Go back to the first slide that we talked about. If I change mass or distance, I change gravity. So where is gravity the most? When you're closest, when you have the shortest distance. If you can apply, hey, this is what I do to mass and distance, you're going to get the whole gravity thing and you're going to get the speed thing, okay? The distance is really, really tiny here, and that's why it goes so fast, because gravity is the biggest. Somebody's calling you again.
Yay.
Mom? Sarah? Why are people calling me? Yeah, except for this one is, that number was 1 digit off from my cell phone number. It's the exact same thing except for 2 numbers were switched. They're stalking. So if I make distance great, gravity is low. That's just, he has a formula for that.
Green changes.
Slight, okay? Okay?
Jesus.
What each other. All right, last one, which I think is the easiest one to understand. If you have a bigger orbit, it takes you a longer time to go around the object.
Yeah.
Yeah, dock of
Right?
yeah.
What
Why
takes
can't I
longer
turn
to orbit
it
the
up? So I
sun,
guess
Mercury
I can do
or Neptune? No, it was not an option that I gave you. Why does Neptune take a longer time to go around the sun?
Farther away.
It's farther away. So what's different about Neptune and Mercury compared to the sun?
The mass.
Farther away, their distance, and their masses. Yeah, good call. Okay. This is another one too. If you count how many times potato. When my brother was like, I think he was 3 when we adopted him, right? And so all up to then, he was just the weird kid. And then it made sense, like, well, now he's a Bernard, so now he's even weirder. But he would just walk around in the front yard, just a diaper on, rolling around,
Yeah.
and then he'd get up and stare and go, potatoes!
Oh,
And we'd be like, do you want potatoes? And he would just stare at us and then roll around on the ground. Like, what are you doing? So now anytime I think potatoes, I'm going to send him. He's getting confused. He's almost 7.
I was only 7.
Yeah.
Wait, you still doing that?
No, when he was like 2. He was like 2.
Yeah, one of my brothers is
He
15
might
years old.
still do it.
Yeah.
He might still do it. He's
Wait, how old are you?
29.
What?
Oh, I think
You're young. Wait, what? You're not just 25? She had to get more than a bachelor's degree just to teach you, right?
I had a job before this. I had a different life. And
How
then
old is my mom?
But she had to go to college at least to teach.
before then, right? Before then. So my only
She'd be just out of
fourth
college
as a teacher.
at
I had another job.
Unless she went at a super early age, which then
Yeah,
she'd
we all
probably
like
be teaching
being
at Harvard or something.
I guess that's
Or
good,
be
right? Like I'm almost 30 and people are like, oh, I need to see your ID. I'm like, but why? Just give me the drugs.
I look like a donut.
Yeah, it's more of like a
It's a donut.
sort of thing. I'm joking. All right, so which one takes longer to go around, the purple or the green? But why?
Because it's farther.
Farther away, right?
The pink.
Who was like, give me questions about that on the test, because I'm gonna nail it.
Me. Wait, what did we just?
Huh?
Let me
Okay.
get second.
This is like the whole back page of the test.
This is?
You just get to watch that go.
Jesus. You just watch it, and then you make observations, that's it, right? No, it's very similar to this. It's very, very, very similar to this. And the point is, I don't want to convince you, right? But some of the times I'm going to have to say, I'm going to ask you like, all right, well, which one takes longer to go around? And you're going to say, oh, it's this one because it's farther away. If you can explain it to me, that's going to be great. Or which one do you think is the fastest? It's very similar to the back page of your review. Okay? Why would this benefit, how does this benefit, not necessarily us, right, in this classroom, but how would this benefit somebody from like NASA?
Make them smaller.
Who watched the clip from The Martian that I posted as a link? That's what I thought, so I'm
What are
gonna
you
show
talking
it
about?
to you. I just assumed that none of you watched it.
I'm watching it right now.
Elron.
So listen, because in the first like 20 seconds, there's like the super typical Bernard comment. I want to see if you can figure it out.
With Elron?
Because it's a secret meeting.
How do you know that? Why does Elron need a secret meeting?
The Council of Element is that it's from Lord of the Rings. It's the meeting where they decide to destroy the One Ring. We're gonna call something Project Elrond, and I would like my code name to be Glorfindel.
I hate everyone.
Second one.
I'm sorry, who are you?
This is
That's
what I
it.
know.
Yep, that's what I say every day when you walk in.
I know what you just told me.
I need the Hermes back to Mars by Sol
It's Simba.
561.
How?
Could you stand right there for me, please? Right there, great. And could you stand right there? Okay, let's pretend that this stapler is the Hermes, and you are, sorry, what's your name again?
Teddy. I'm the director of NASA.
Cool, Ted, you're right now the Hermes is headed towards you, starting its month-long deceleration to intercept. But instead, what I'm proposing is we start
He's
accelerating
really good at sound effects.
to preserve velocity.
Pretty good.
We don't intercept with our head off, but we come close enough to get a gravity assist and adjust course. While we're doing that, we supply with the probe, pick up whatever provisions we need, and now we're accelerating towards Mars. You're Mars. Now we're going too fast at this point to fall into perfect, but we can do flyby.
What good's a flyby if we can't get lightning off the surface?
Rodney would intercept using the MAV.
Then we just head home. I've done the math. Checks out.
Get out.
The Martian.
Martian's a great movie. It's super long. Okay. The premise of it is there's people on space on Mars, right? There's some crazy storm one of them gets lost and dies. They go home, and then on their way home, they realize that dude wasn't dead, he's alive.
Yep.
So they're trying to figure out, like, do we let him die? How do we get back? What do we do? So they're saying, all right, this is an idea. But, well, this isn't a real life thing, like this hasn't happened yet, these are things that we use all the time. Okay, well, we could, we just haven't left somebody on Mars yet. They talked about.
We left someone on the moon on accident, but it wouldn't be as
They talked
realistic
about-
because of the like storms and stuff. Can't see that.
Do the planets line up like this in real life?
Can't see it.
Oh, that'd be epic.
Do they just go like, all right, we can go planet hopping?
No.
Nope, they're all over the place at any given point. So there's a lot of people right now, and they're saying we want to send stuff to Mars. We want to try and colonize it. We're going to send people later. If we don't get this within the next like certain time frame, we have to wait a few more years because the length of time it takes goes from like 5 months on a shuttle to like 3 years on a shuttle, just because of the distance that Mars is away from us. Okay, so understanding how to do this is actually something that we use. Can you imagine? Hey, you're going to be on this shuttle like 4 or 5 months. We got enough food for you. And then actually realize that the math was wrong and it's going to take you 2 years to get to this planet instead of 5 months.
And you don't.
And you don't have enough stuff. Okay? Easy to turn around, but like, it's not that easy to do it in space. You don't just slow down, reverse, like do your 3-point reverse and then go back. Right? That's not really how it works. And the next closest large planet that we have is Mars. Okay? So we do this with space probes all the time. If we say, all right, we want to send something somewhere else, we go buy another object. Okay? That little thing that like pulls us in with the little desert cactus thing. If you're here, what does it do? If you get too close to its orbit, or the little sinkhole, what happens? See you later. This is what happens to me all the time. And I am 29 years old and I get pissed. And when I'm playing with my friends, I turn it off and I walk away if I'm losing. People won't play things with me anymore because I'm a child. I can't handle things when I'm losing. I don't cry. I black out. I say things and I'm mean
More
to
salty
people.
than a crybaby.
It's just terrible. It's just terrible. One time, I dated a guy who was a sophomore basketball coach at Hempstead, which is in Dubuque. And we played horse once. And he won, and we didn't speak all of lunch for like 2 hours. I couldn't do it. I said, this is a bad idea. We should play and then go our separate ways. And he was like, no, we're gonna go to lunch. It's gonna be fine. No. Obviously, that didn't work out because I killed him.
You did great.
Don't tell people that. Okay? If you get something,
Oh my
it goes this
God.
way. Okay? This happens to me every time, and I fall for it every time. I always like, dude, I'm gonna go right through. Nope, sinkhole. Quicksand? I don't know what it is. Okay? The point is, why don't we want to get too close to another planet's orbit? It's gonna pull us right in, and now we're stuck. Okay? But if we go really far on the outside, does it help us at all? No. Right? It's almost like in space we've got the little thing that if I go over it in Mario Kart, what does it do? Shoots me out. Right? It's gonna make me go way faster. It gives me a little boost. We can only do this if we get orbit from something that's big enough. So we do this all the time. We're spending millions of dollars, billions of dollars to send these things out, billions of miles away, send us pictures, send us back information about it. We're using millions of dollars on supplies. It's taking years to do. Do you think that if we could find a way to use something else to decrease the amount of money and time that it takes, we would do it? Yeah, it totally makes more sense. Right?
Or maybe
Totally
not
makes more
now.
sense. And that's why the math of doing this, while we're not going to use it, it's something that NASA uses a ton. We use this all the time.
It's infinity.
Alright,
Spider-Bug, Spider-Bug.
Spiny boy.
alright, so here's what I want you to do. Really quickly, everybody needs a marker and a whiteboard. Send one person from your table up here to
I
grab
know. You got this.
them. Send one person up here to grab them. Do we have one? Yeah.
And number one, you go pull that.
Right. This is not gonna take us very long. What I want you to do is draw this circle with a dot.
I hope this is good. Markers I used today for horrible.
Okay? Not very big and in the center. That's as close as I'm gonna get to the circle. Alright? My dot is a little bit off to the side. I've got a circle. What I want you to do is say, alright, this is a normal orbit. I want you in a dotted line, dashed line, to draw an orbit for an object that's gonna take longer to go around than the one that you just drew. So I've got a planet, it takes longer to go around the sun. What does that planet's orbit look like? There you go. And then in a dotted line, draw an orbit that is more elliptical.
What's that?
If they run into each other, that's totally fine.
What's elliptical?
Ooh, that was a word we just talked about.
You are.
Nope.
I have a
When you think you've got it, let me see. Like almost everybody, yep, good. Almost everybody's got the dashed line. I'm gonna
I
do this
got
in a
it.
different color. I'm gonna do it like this. The dashed line, if I want it to take longer, what's the only thing I need to draw? I just need to draw one that's bigger on the outside. This is gonna take longer. It's more distance.
Like this.
Okay, good. I'm gonna draw the other one in red just because it's easier for you to see a different one. What do I need to do to draw this dotted line one? What does more elliptical mean? More ovally. That's sort of it. Potato. 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 What are you doing, Dan?
Is this good?
Erase it.
Bye-bye, planet.
Here's what I want you to do. This next one, I'm going to ask you to, I want you to draw something that's just like this. So redraw that circle with the thing in the middle. No. Okay, just draw the circle again. I'm going to give you 4 things to mark. So I'm going to say, all right, where this is, mark A, where this is, mark B. If you can do this on your own and get all 4, you are going to kill the test. So just try it, and if it's wrong, then we'll talk about it, okay? Tell me where the object is moving the fastest, where it's moving the slowest, where it has the most gravity, and where it has the least gravity. Try and do that. Okay, all 4 of those. Let me draw that. Yep. 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 Yes, yes, yes.
Wait, let me see.
Huh?
That's right.
You're good, you're good, you're good. Close.
That's my daughter. I did that actually that did.
Can we erase it?
Yep, you're gonna erase it. Let's go through it. I think somebody did it in like 8 seconds.
Oh, yeah, oh, you're supposed to use the letters. That's why it took me so long.
Where is it gonna move the fastest?
We're supposed to stay.
Where is the closest? Which would probably be like here-ish. Because what else does it have there? The most gravity. I could add one more. I could add one more category, E and F. What would I put? Mass didn't change. Distance. I can say which one is the closest distance. It'll be right here. Okay? It's the fastest because this is where it's the closest and it has the most gravity. So where's it the slowest?
There it is.
Because it has the least gravity because it's farther away. How do you feel?
Good.
Okay, that's it. Put them down. It's just easier to do it with
Oh, we gotta
whiteboards.
throw the marker.
Order.
Oh, we're throwing them at you now?
Alright, go.
I gotta do it.
Wait for me. I'm a horrible girl, sorry.
Bounce, 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 bounce.
I think I got two. I think I got two. That's fine. I just can't work. Wait, I got two.
Good boy. God.
We throw whiteboards.
Everyone look away.
Whiteboard throw.
No, that's all right. Just in charge of your face, bro.
Oh my God.
That's right. I told you, so I got these safety goggles on. Okay, have a good time. All right, so here's what I want. If you're done with your review, I understand it. If not, I want to give you just 6 or 7 minutes to work on it. Do not waste it. Don't do nothing for 6 or 7 minutes.
There
Let's
is
do tomorrow.
do or do not. There is no try.
But if you want to ask me questions, you can ask me questions. I need you to focus. I need you to be respectful and somewhat quiet. It's going to take me a while to pick up all these dang markers.
On me.
Okay? If it's done, nope, never you're going to stare right in my face. Yes, it just is. Yeah. There's 2 options there. If I want, let's grab you.
I haven't done it.
And the other one actually. Okay. All right, real quick. Will everybody look up here real quick? Throughout the day, have had a lot of questions about number 4 on the front. Okay, number 4 on the front. If you are on Canvas, just so that you know, and you're on this section, if you go to Pages, and you go to View All Pages, you'll see, you can see all the slides that I have. So if you're like, hey, I know that we talked about that, or she showed us this, okay? We have seen this before. I showed it to you in class. Okay? That goes through and it talks about, hey, here's how we get a star. Once the star is formed, here's how that leftover stuff starts to rotate, collide, and create planets. If you're having a hard time with number 4, look through the article in the orange that we read, or I would watch this 3-minute video, and that has all the stuff that you want to know, okay? And that's located under the Pages on Canvas. You can go to Unit 3 slides. So if you're really struggling with that, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but if you need some help, that's where it's going to be. And you can go through them all. Okay?
Then Unit 3.
Long or short. Yeah, that's fine. You need a new review. There.
Ooh, space one.
There's some short answers. So if he's done, he'll be done, right? Probably. Okay. I'm gonna give you an, so the thing that I'm most worried about is that there's things to and so I'm gonna give you tomorrow, I'll show you what the. As you sort of if it was so I'm just gonna make sure that we all. And then just. And I think I'm gonna have my earlier classes order back in the rows.
This book. So I gotta do this.
I was supposed to work on the interview right now.